who's also the chairman of the Small Business Committee, Mr. Williams, for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you for being here today. FinCEN's beneficial ownership reporting regime created a compliance nightmare for small business owners in my home state of Texas and across the nation. While I was pleased to see that Treasury was issuing an interim final rule that would require only foreign companies to report their BOI to FinCEN, I am still concerned about the data on domestic small businesses that was collected before the change in reporting requirements. By holding on to this data, FinCEN has created unnecessary privacy and security risks for millions of small businesses across this great country. So, Director Gacki, will you commit to deleting the beneficial ownership information of business owners who are no longer required to file with FinCEN?
Representative Williams, thank you so much for that question. And with the interim final rule that was issued in March, as you noted, FinCEN has readjusted the requirements for filing to really put the obligations only on foreign reporting companies and only to the extent they have foreign beneficial owners. We are in the process of reviewing the comments to that rule, and we expect to make that rule final this calendar year. With the finalization of that rule, we expect to resolve any data questions involving the data that we have, and it is our intention along with resolution and finalization of that rule to delete any information that was filed that is no longer required to be filed that is currently being protected at FinCEN.
Thank you. I want to shift gears and discuss the residential real estate transfer rule. Now, this rule requires a certain business involved in real estate closings and settlements to collect and report beneficial ownership information nationwide. In practice, more than 800,000 individuals would be required to file reports, resulting in over 4 million hours of compliance work. The estimated cost of this burden is an astonishing $630 million, according to some of FinCEN's estimates. These compliance costs will inevitably raise the price of purchasing a home, making it even harder for families to achieve the American dream of ownership. So, Director, again, given this rule raises compliance hours and costs at an alarming level, is FinCEN considering delaying this rule to improperly rescope it in a way that it does not create so much regulatory burden on small business?
Representative Williams, thank you again for that excellent question. We believe that the residential real estate rule puts in place what had been a temporary measure across 10 years of collecting information from shell companies making non-finance purchases of real estate that has been incredibly beneficial to law enforcement. And we have renewed that geographic targeting order across administrations based on the strength of the reporting of the information and how vital it is for law enforcement. We believe that the benefits to the United States, to Americans, in gaining this information is critical and justifies the expense of the residential real estate rule. And in fact, we believe that the ensuring that shell companies purchasing residential real estate in a way that's not been detected can actually skew home prices, and which is another justification for why this rule is, we believe, is justified. And we do expect, we are planning for it to come into effect in December.
Okay, last question real quick. The residential real estate transfers rule, like the beneficial ownership reporting requirements, will affect a large number of small businesses. As we saw from the beneficial ownership information reporting requirements, millions of small businesses in the United States were largely unaware that they had to comply and were even unaware of the existence of FinCEN. My concern is that similar to as before, small businesses like title companies will not be educated on those requirements and unfairly punished for something they are unfamiliar with. So, Director, quickly, this new residential rule shifts a heavy burden on title companies, many of which are small businesses, and given the complexity of the rule, what has FinCEN done to educate and prepare these companies? And has FinCEN engaged directly with title professionals and issued any public guidance to help them understand and comply?
Thank you, Representative Williams, and thank you for that another excellent question. We have been working with title companies on education, but if we determine that more time is needed for them to be able to implement this rule, we will certainly explore methods and ways to give them that additional time to ensure a responsible implementation of this rule.
All right, thank you very much. I yield my time back.